Okay, everybody. So, welcome back. This is Ian from a tinybookabout.com and Mindful Marketplace, where most of the folks watching this may know me from already. But essentially, we're publishing a whole series of, I hope, paradigm changing processes for folks who want to write inspirational books, nonfiction books that build your brand and your business. And we're actually teaching this process in our course community as well. This has been published for a couple of days. I actually just changed the price and changed the cover. So it will need to be, reapproved. And this is, again, I'm recording this on the 20th of May, 2023. This should be live again in the Amazon store in the next 12 hours or so. But I wanted to share the core concept behind this book for those of you who may not want to actually buy the tiny book. Again, it's only 99 cents. So if you're interested in having the book, you can actually, get it from the Amazon store. But this is the core concept, and it's tiny books, big ideas. This is a whole series of nonfiction oriented tutorials that I'm actually publishing in a series of tiny increments to, kind of exemplify the ethos and the approach that we're actually teaching. So you can actually see the real books in the real world if you're interested in writing a book yourself. But this is the core sort of idea that I'm trying to convey in this first book in the series, which is a transformation turnstile, which, in simpler language is an end experience, is how you ought to think about your book. You shouldn't be thinking about writing a bestseller or making just a shit ton of book sales, because that's not going to help you nearly as much as offering a end experience for a small percentage of your readers that they can actually participate in the real world with you, right? So you can sell 1,000 books a month for $2.99 a month on Amazon, right? And you can make $2,000 a month. You get 6% of that, let's say roughly. So that's about $2 per book. Or you can, have your book priced in, you can give your book away, or or you can hustle and essentially have a high price book that you're actually selling a high end service through the book, which is what I call the transformation turnstile. And you may only sell 50 books a month rather than 1,000. But if you get one person in that readership who actually wants to take you up on a $5,000 a year coaching program, or an event, or a course community, or a a product ties sort of offer that you're making, you only need a couple sales a month to 2 and 3x what you would make selling 1,000 books a month, which, by the way, is a lot of books. Most people will never sell 1,000 books a month on Amazon. So, I probably said that a little bit too convoluted, if that's a word, for this particular video. But you want to have an end experience, which is actually the work that you're doing in the world. That's a high end offer. Whether you're a chiropractor, a life coach, a event coordinator, a teacher, a consultant, a religious or spiritual leader or figure, a mental health professional, a therapist, etc. Right? I mean, you want to actually offer an experience, which again we call transformation turnstile. And remember, only a small percentage of your readers are going to participate in that. It's not something that, if you sell 50 books or 1,000 books, that 48 out of the 50 are going to buy your thing at the end. You're going to have a very small percentage, and that's a feature, not a bug. You don't want everybody who's reading your book to be signing up for your coaching service, or your therapy offer, or your event, or whatever. I mean, in a perfect world, I guess you could argue that can't be a terrible thing, but you really only want to target a small subset of your readers who are your ideal audience or quintessential client, and just have a slow but steady trickle of people over the course of, let's say, a year, who are signing up for a high-end service that you can actually allocate the time, effort, and energy to transform their lives. All right. The features of the transformation turnstile are as follows. It has a sacred gated space that you can control. It has a clear leader, which is you in this case, a clear outcome, a clear deadline, and a clear before and after moment. So a rock star result that advertises itself as immediately obvious. Like, for an example, the example I like to give all the time is, if you're teaching people how to write a book like we're doing, the rock star result is before they met you, they hadn't published a book. After you've worked with them, they have published a book. So that advertises itself as immediately obvious, right? There's a rock star result that they've actually gotten by dint of working with you. All right. It has a clear cohort, which, in this case is a limit to how many folks can participate at once. So like small groups, scarcity, that sort of thing. I don't like those traditionally, kind of like fear of missing out sort of psychological triggers, but that it works. And it also is helpful to say, this event that we have coming up, or this course or this community has space for 50 people, right? I mean, it just works better, and it allows you to actually filter and funnel the right audience into your end experience. All right. All this is animated by this idea that people are inspired by words, but they're transformed by experiences. Your book is a bridge. Its sole responsibility is to build a walkway between your words, which is, the book, and your work in the world, right? Very, very simple. And it really is only for those of you who want to write nonfiction books. This has nothing to do with writing stories or fiction or that sort of thing, right? It's for those of us who want to use books to build our brand, our business, and ultimately our bank accounts, right? A bridge book is also designed to be tiny by design, right? It's intended to be small. It offers this completion bias and the dopamine dump that folks will actually feel when they finish a book. Most people don't finish their books. I mean, something like 17% of books are, completed or whatever on Kindle, right? I mean, people generally don't finish what they start. And when you actually give people an experience that they complete, there's this bias that they're going to offer to you or can confer to you in that they actually did finish a thing that feels good. I mean, it feels like you're being productive, and it gives folks the idea that, you are the right person to help them with this problem or this challenge that you're actually addressing in the book. All right. And of course, if they don't finish the book, they aren't going to see your end experience or the transformation turnstile you're offering at the end. Remember, a book like this can be written in a weekend and read in an hour. The Amazon book that I published here, again, it's priced, at 99 cents, but it's literally, each one of these took me about a day to write, and it was just more a question of organizing my content because the content was already written and putting it all into a series of books. It's designed to be read in literally an hour, right? I mean, people will walk away from this little book with an idea that will be certainly helpful for building their brand and business with a book as the bedrock marketing strategy. All right. Think small but serious, finite focus, not fierce focus. People talk about being really focused. It's the finite focus that matters. One topic, one tiny topic at a time, one tiny trigger, one tiny transformation. That's the entire experience that each book is designed to create. All right. Tiny books, big experiences. Teach what you know, do what you love, wake up the world with your work. Again, this is our, our motto, our mantra. And if you truly want to write a book that changes the world and changes your life, and it's a nonfiction book, and you're an entrepreneur, I encourage you to come write with us. A tinybookabout.com is our new publishing platform, and we focus on inspirational authors and enlightened entrepreneurs. And essentially enlightened in this case simply means people who have an entrepreneurial bent with an idea that's enlightening to their or to your particular audience or client base, and it really needs help getting that message out into the world, and that's where we come in. So I would hope that if this is helpful for you, you'll apply this in your own life, whether you buy this tiny book here or not. I'm not going to show it to you again. But if you'd like to get in touch with me, send an email, mindfulmarketplace@gmail.com, or visit us at tinybookabout.com to learn more about what we have planned for 2023 and way beyond. Thanks so much. As always, I appreciate you. I appreciate you watching, and have a wonderful weekend.